Hey guys, welcome to the second episode of the Talking Hytale podcast. Today, me and Sensor are just going to be discussing a few different topics pertaining to Hytale. We actually have things that we want to talk about, including like dungeons, modding, and potential beta content. That's something we want to touch on as well, because we were just thinking about it. But yeah, of course I got Sensor with me. How are you, Sensor?
Yeah, I'm doing great, man. I'm really excited for this podcast.
Yeah, so am I, dude. Hopefully, I mean, the last one went pretty well compared to, nothing. We've never done it before. But, yeah, we keep trying our best to improve. But, yeah, we actually have set topics this time, so it should be more organized and better, hopefully. We'll see. But,
Yeah.
I guess we should start this off with some dungeon talk, dude, because I'm very excited for the dungeons inside of Hytale. They look amazing based off the very small amount of what we've seen, because, like, we saw a little bit in the trailer, a few gameplay clips that looked very good, but, yeah, the loot looks amazing inside of them, the bosses, the mobs, everything looks so good, and I just can't wait to get to play in them, dude. It's gonna be so fun.
Yeah, we're gonna see so many of these dungeons, and it's one of the most important features of this game. I'm excited for, coming from Minecraft. I always wanted, a more of adventure side of a sandbox game like Minecraft, because after playing it, after so much, there's only so much you can do when it comes to exploring.
So much replayability, if that makes sense, There's
Yeah.
really, like, I mentioned this in the last podcast, but the dungeons in Minecraft are so bad, dude. They're just cubes with chests in them that, and they have mob spawners, which are a lame excuse for a challenge, and it's just, they're bad. They're bad. I don't like those. They're bad. But they look like they knocked these dungeons out of the park, and I cannot wait. And like, speaking of just like the underground area, like, and each zone, the fact that each zone is different, which is also amazing, because like, again, in like Minecraft, it's just the same freaking cave everywhere you go, no matter what. But Hytale has variety and just so many different things in its caves, and I'm just really excited. I can't wait to just, oh my god, I want to play so bad. And the more I think about it, the more I just give it, please.
Yeah, we could be seeing different variants of the same dungeon in each zone, some of them could contain, sort of the same similar loot, but the element could be different. Like, we could see, let's say zone 1 is it's the earth. What do you call it? It's the earth element, right?
Yeah. I think zone 1 is. And then
so
there's
we
zone
could
2, like,
so
desert,
zone 2 is wind.
Wait, zone desert isn't an element. Oops.
So we could potentially be seeing, items depending on, of course, the zone and the environment it's in. Of course, I'm talking about the same dungeon.
Very
though.
cool.
Yeah. We could.
I would. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. He just cut out on Discord for me, but it's fine because we're doing this with 2 different tracks. Everybody, it's so good, dude. Audio quality is gonna be so much better. Anyway, continue.
Yeah. Oh, where was I?
Something about different elemental weapons and stuff that change throughout zones.
Yeah, obviously we're gonna have different loot based on the zone it's in. But by the time we hit, the zone 4 and zone, anything above zone 3, because they mentioned that you'll have the ability to spawn in randomly in one of the first zones. So I'd assume there that the dungeons and the loot being contained in the first 3 zones are going to be either, of course, I wouldn't say a lot worse, but definitely worse than the stuff we'll find later game, zone 4, zone 5, zone 6. And it could even mean that dungeons are brought up a notch in difficulty.
That would be really interesting. And also, I'd love to see, like, different dungeons containing, like, for example, like, the fire sword. It could be, like, the ice sword somewhere else in, like, zone 3. Compared to zone 1, which we saw it in that skeleton clip. I believe that was zone 1. And also, like, I'm thinking, like, when you were talking about variety, there could be, like, different mobs that, like, have something to do with the zone that they're in, like maybe different bosses. Like we saw the Yeti, maybe like some kind of snow monster in a dungeon, compared to like, I don't know, some guard in zone 1. Like I forgot what it's called. I can't remember because my memory is absolutely horrible. But it would be so good to see like similar dungeons but different styles. And obviously we have over like 7,000 prefabs, if I'm correct. Yeah. And some of those are going to be like dungeons or chunks of dungeons, which mean that we could see like extreme varieties. Like I know they said that no experience was going to be the same anytime you loaded up the world, but I don't know. We'll have to see because I'm very interested to see how those will work.
That's what I love about Hytale, man, because you could launch up a world and you could play it for months, and you can launch another world and you would have different dungeons than the first time you played. So just the point you made, each time you play is going to be different than the other, which is awesome for a game, for a sandbox game especially, with, I wouldn't say limited prefabs on the main story continent or whatever you call it. I know
island.
you like it. It's a continent.
It's an island. We're going to talk about every time. Okay, we need to settle this somehow because otherwise it's just going to be a debate every time. Guys, if you've made it this far, which I really hope you have because this is not very far in the podcast, but is it an island or a continent? Please let us know. Let us know. What is your opinion? It is.
Do you want me to? Okay, it's a continent because we already see islands like in the trailer.
No, they can be
with
tiny
the pirates
chunks
on it. You're not gonna see an island with 4
tiny
different zones
chunks
on it, man.
No, we have
That's not how it
islands and
works.
then tiny chunks.
Tiny
of
chunks.
the earth.
All right, buddy.
That's how it's gonna work. I promise.
Anyways, we could. The Yeti boss would be awesome, but I don't think it would necessarily be in a dungeon because we saw it above ground.
Oh yeah. That's why I said like some kind of snow monster, not like.
Yeah.
But
You
I don't
never
know. We'll see.
Yeah. And you said also an ice sword, which is absolutely amazing, as I already love the fire sword. And
an ice sword.
we saw that being grabbed in I think the combat clip in zone 1.
Yep, with the skeletons.
I don't know if that was just for the combat clip, but if we can get the fire zone in zone 1, that's awesome. But at the same
fire
time,
zone. Just call the fire sword the fire zone.
The fire sword. If we can get the fire sword in zone 1, that would be awesome. But it wouldn't be an end game item, which I'd be disappointed about, as it's absolutely awesome.
Yeah, I would love, like, I mean, although it would be cool to get such a cool item right off the bat, I would love to see, I don't know, maybe even if that's the case, we could do like upgrades, right, to make it more bigger and powerful. Because like, for example, in Terraria, you take the different swords that look cool and they're good for beginning game, but then you make them into something way cooler that are very helpful and utilized by like melee players in the end game, which
definitely
would be a good way to go about it, honestly.
Yeah, didn't Terraria like combine different weapons that you'd gather in early games so those items would be useful later? Is that what you meant?
Yeah.
Are they combined?
Kind of like the
okay.
What's it called? That new best weapon that like literally shows 8 different swords when you throw it or whatever.
Oh
something
yeah.
crazy like that. Forgot the name.
It was the. It started with the T. I don't remember.
I thought it was like Zenith. I thought it started with a Z. I feel like it's Zenith. I could be wrong. Are you looking that up?
I'm looking that up because I want to know what it's called now.
I think it's called the Zenith. You know what? I'm gonna look it up too.
Terrorblade.
No, what? No.
Hold on. Am I retarded? Hold on.
It is not the Terrorblade. That's like.
Yeah, it is.
I was right. It is the Zenith.
What?
Terraria 1.4 Zenith.
Oh.
Well, neither have I. I barely have. Yeah. I played it like barely, you know. I didn't even get to the end game,
right,
and I still knew. Dude, that's how smart I am. You called it the Terrorblade. What kind of?
Shush.
Oh my god, what a nerd, dude! Talking about the Terrorblade. Bro, you're gonna get some hate, dude, from Terraria lovers, bro. Terraria lovers in the chat. I give you full permission to attack him. That would be
That is
very
not fair.
entertaining.
I've only
Yes,
played once. I haven't even
and
been
you
in the
played
side.
more than once. I saw you on the server, and you were so overpowered. Yeah, that's right. Because like I went
my
on the
first
server.
playthrough.
Yeah, well.
Anyways, it'd be awesome to get a Terra sword in Hytale. In
you want
Zone
the-
1.
Okay, first
Dude,
of all, you
a
just
Terra
butchered the
sword.
name. It's like Terra Blade, but whatever. And
That's why it
also,
can't be too similar.
well, why would you want Terra, dude? Terra is just a cool name for a Terraria sword, you know?
What are you talking about? It's an
Terra
awesome
Blade.
name for a sword in Hytale as well.
No, I think you're wrong.
I mean, I'd rather find the Terra sword than a fire sword in the first zone. As I'd already mentioned, I'd want the fire zone to be like mid to end game loot.
Well, maybe
But-
there will be another fire sword that's bigger, like I said,
Yeah,
or something
maybe
cooler.
maybe we could find the same items but better tier as we go on.
That would be dope.
That'd be dope. Yeah.
Even
I
like
mean-
different tiers and sides of different tiers dungeons, dude. Because that would imagine, right? Like, it's kind of like Terraria actually, where you get different levels of the exact same item or something.
Yes.
That would be so good. I'd love that.
But imagine different tiers of the same dungeon. Maybe you'd have some sort of indicator, like at the entrance of the dungeon, some sort of block or something that would tell, the level or the tier of the dungeon. That'd be
That
awesome.
would be very cool. I'd love that. I'd
That-
love to see like speaking of tiers and stuff, I'd love to see different challenges. Like, I'd like to see parkour. I would love parkour in dungeons. That would be the coolest thing in the world, dude. I'd love, like, imagine like parkour with a huge fall. Like, yeah, oh my
Yeah,
god,
dude.
I'd love that.
It,
Dude.
it
That would be
reminds
so
me
good.
of the Minecraft Nether Bastion bridge inside.
Ooh,
it's
that thing's
basically-
cool.
Yeah, it's basically a bridge just over lava and blocks below. And it's
Yeah.
super awesome. I think we already saw something like that in the trailer. With the goblins. And yeah, I think you remember that part, right?
I think so. Yeah, it looked like
think
there
I
were
remember.
tiny holes in the ground. I believe. I've watched
I
the trailer
remember-
quite a
yeah.
lot. So
I remember there was a bridge with some goblins
Yeah.
across and they were coming to chase you. Maybe I'm wrong, but
I believe
That
there
could
were
already be a
holes.
thing.
I'm not sure how big they were, but
oh.
we'll have to see. I mean,
Might be
just
okay.
based off that tiny clip, it looked amazing, dude. If you guys haven't seen the Hytale trailer, I definitely recommend it. It's a very good trailer, very well made. Shows a lot of great epic stuff, like freaking watching movies with your friends, making mods and stuff. Speaking of, dude, modding was something I wanted to touch on in this, and I can't wait
Ooh.
for the modding. Imagine, dude, what if you can take the dungeons and then just like mod them to make them however you want, and like prefabs, I think they said something about them being like easy to import, or maybe I'm thinking of like blocks or something. But imagine that, dude. You could like make your own courses and have them spawn in the world, and then boom, you just load it up and play it with your friends. Because like modding is very, very epic in Hytale, and it gives you lots of opportunities. Like literally, they work like plugins, right? Where you can like literally make a mod, put it in your world, and then your friends join. They download it through the thing. Like they don't have to go to like a website or download it off like, I don't know, Mediafire or wherever you get it from. And it's just all in the game, which is really, really
Yeah.
exciting. And it'll make modding and servers and everything so much better, dude. I cannot wait. Oh my god, dude. The things
Yeah.
that this game has to offer,
all
amazing.
all the mods are server side, so no more, like you said, downloading mods from, let's say,
Like
any other
Minecraft.
external third party, like what do you call it, AT launcher, Technic launcher, FTB, all of
Yeah.
that is not needed anymore, as it will all be server sided. So all the tons of people who played Minecraft, I bet you a good amount of them struggle downloading mods and having, let's say, capability issues, between the different mods. All those problems will be fixed with Hytale, as it takes
Yeah.
a click of a button to download them and you're in.
And I also feel like they're gonna have modding, so like where you have the option if you want to have it be server side, or they'll probably have like, or people will make websites where you can like download people's mods that they've created, because like obviously you're not gonna go on a server just for a mod and get your world started in a server, but like I'd love to see like the it's like the perfect modding system, which is awesome, dude. I can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
Many, yeah, there's so many possible things you can do with modding, more than you know Minecraft as of now. It's gonna be really great. I've already seen so many modders, you know, just look forward to Hytale. Coming, you know, of course, the Hytale was made for people to mod on. It's not just a game, it's a base for other games. So it's basically a platform for people to create. And as I think you mentioned in your video about Hytale and why it's not just a game, you're gonna
do you need someone to help you, dude? Are you struggling to
I am struggling. I forgot the word. I was trying to. Oh god.
That's unfortunate, isn't it?
It is unfortunate. What was I saying?
Stuff about Hytale being more than a platform.
Yeah, I just had that thought. I had a thought that I wanted to say, but maybe I'll get back to it later.
You seriously gotta let everybody down, just because you forgot. Are you serious? You're not doing too good in this podcast, Sensei. You come on, man. You just gotta believe, dude. It's okay.
Oh, I believe. I just.
Do you believe?
Those thoughts like running away from me, dude.
Well. I guess that's understandable.
Yeah.
I mean, one time I did bang my head on this metal box, and I didn't remember anything. And that's probably unrelated. Now I'm thinking about it.
Yeah. Now you know. I mean, you know what happened. Me, it just left for no reason. You know.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I was walking up the stairs, and then there was this stupid metal box. For no reason, dude. Just a freaking metal box. Like, I don't know why someone would put it there. Like, I was just looking at somebody because they were talking behind me, so I wasn't even looking. And as soon as they stopped talking, I turned around and then bang, I smacked my forehead and I fell down. Oh my god. It was
That's an experience.
It was interesting. You know, I mean, fine now, probably not actually, but better now than I was. But, you know. Yeah. We're talking about modding. We should probably go back to that. You know, keep this somewhat on topic. But I don't know. Let us know, guys. Do you like us branching out to random things? Because, you know, personally I do. But I don't know what you guys think. Hope you do, because it's fun. And we want this to be fun. Because we love Hytale. And we love talking to you guys. And it's very epic. But yeah, I guess we'll just continue. Because that is also very fun. Because otherwise we're just going to keep rambling about me banging my head into a metal box. You know? Oh, God.
Yeah. So
I wasn't experienced, but yeah, go ahead.
What was I saying? Yeah, mods will all be server-side, and that would be a lot easier to download. You know, from all the people who can actually, you know, download separate things from, you know, websites and have issues, you know, having to install Java and that kind of thing. That's all gonna be. None of that is gonna be an issue with Hytale.
Yeah, well, to be fair, like, I feel like this community is gonna be made out of competent older people, because it's a teen-rated game, and two, if it ends up being pay to play, which I hope it is, then I really don't think that's too much of a concern. But making it easier, of course, is better, and it'll obviously help those that do not know how to get mods. But you know, it's such a good system, and I can't wait to see how it plays out and what people do with it. Because, all right, we already have good modders on Minecraft, right? But imagine what they're gonna be able to do with tools basically made for them, and like presets and everything that they're gonna offer. It's just amazing, dude.
Yeah. I remember what I was going to say earlier now. I talked about how Hytale was not just, you know, a game, but a platform for other games. And I was going to talk about how, you know, that was the goal for the Hypixel team, was to create something, you know, customizable
and efficient.
Yes, customizable and
Got you.
efficient and easy to use for everyone. You know, you can create things as much. You can create models. Remember, there's a built-in model maker in the game. There's a built-in
Very
scripting
epic.
system, and all
Also
that.
very epic.
Yeah, all these things can be done with like little to no experience. To make models and create these things, I think the only issue for someone who had, you know, who's not very experienced in scripting or coding or any of that, is really just scripting the movements of the mobs, which, you know, I'm pretty sure, you know, that's the only thing that's really gonna hold back many people from creating things.
Yeah, and even with that, dude,
And
there's
that aspect.
literally they said on their modding thing, which is also, this is something I want to make a video about, but I may as well touch it on here. You can literally like work with people like it's Google Docs, dude, freaking real time, and they'll be able to help you, and you can like collaborate, which would be so fun, dude. Like, imagine like creating like, I don't know, something like a puffer boss, dude. Like, imagine, dude, like we could make animations and we could have like special attacks, and I could like do some huge flop attack. That would be the best thing, dude. But like,
Yeah.
the point being, like, creativity will be extended even further when you have a team of people, or even two people working on, like, you know, it would be.
Mm-hmm.
It's very. I can't wait.
said-
to.
Yeah, I
wanna,
forgot
like-
there was real-time editing or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's
multiple
something I'm
people
really excited
can
for.
do it at once. That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
it's
really great.
it's something they emphasized in their modding blog post. But yeah, I definitely want to do a video on that because I have stuff I want to explain. But it's gonna be so good, dude. And I like. I
Oh,
can't
yeah.
wait to just mess with it, dude, and mess with different people, and like, or not mess with different people, mess around with different people on it. And yeah, it's just, oh man, it's gonna be so good. I can't wait.
There's so much to look forward to with the
real.
customization of this game and what it has to offer.
I wonder how texture packs are gonna work in terms of like modding, because I
Hmm.
know there was like, we saw one little clip, I think it was recently actually, of live texture changing, and that's very cool, dude. Like, because I know in Minecraft you can just like shift T or something. It's like, or F3T or something. I don't remember what the command is, but and then it just reloads the texture pack. But you'll literally be able to open the game and like, I'm not actually even sure how it's gonna work, but they said live texture changes, which is very cool, because like, imagine you're just editing the files and you can see that happening in the game. That would be so cool, dude.
Yeah.
I'd love to see something like that.
Visualization.
Hopefully the textures aren't as
Absolutely.
confusing as Minecraft. Although Minecrafts aren't that confusing, it can be annoying when you're editing things like armor, for sure, because armor's super annoying the way it's laid out, and like skins, it's just all over the place and it's disgusting, dude. It's so annoying to edit if you have no idea
Yeah.
like what you're doing, or if you don't have like some kind of software pulled up where you just edit on it. But if that makes sense. But
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh, sorry.
no, it's okay. I hope texture changing is easy, because I'd love to have like my own texture pack. Although I actually, at first I didn't like the Hytale textures, but they grew on me really fast. I love everything about them now. Because like, it was really weird. I just stared at the grass, right? Grass is very nice, by the way. And then I just was like, man, I like that grass. And then I looked around, I was like, whoa, bro, this is actually pretty cool. And I guess it's just because like, I'm so used to like the Minecraft 16 by 16 blocks that are just simplistic, and don't get me wrong, they look good, but I wasn't like used to it, so I don't know.
Are the
really cool.
textures 16 by 16?
I believe so. I could be, you know what, I'm gonna look that up, because
I know for a fact Hytale's
Farmland.
textures are 32 by 32.
yeah,
But I know just like you said, those textures really grew on me compared to what Minecraft's had. Minecraft has more of a simple feel, I'd say. You
Mhm.
know, a simple, easy to look at. Not that Hytale's is not hard to look at, but it's more detailed in a lot of ways, and it has more of like a medieval feel.
Yeah,
compared to Minecraft, as it's in a it's in like the steampunk medieval time period, and there's not many modern equipment. There's not many modern items or anything like that, which is awesome. Even gun wise, we've only seen, it shows we've seen, I think, a blunderbuss and a flintlock in the trailer on the dock on the island, and even those are the kind of guns, and that's the kind of time period we can expect to see in Hytale. Just like we saw jetpacks, that kind of thing. It's like that. So that's a great feel for the game.
I like the propeller backpack, dude. That guy.
Dude.
He's very epic. I wonder how they're gonna do minigame customization. Like, how you can change everything in Bed Wars, like your wind and your wind affects your bed or the wood color, sorry. The destroyed bed effect. There's so much you can customize. Most of that usually has to do with you spending some amount of money or just grinding the game out like unnecessarily long. So I wonder if they're gonna if it's a paid to play, then I'm guessing that it's gonna have some kind of easy leveling system, I hope, where getting rewards is easy, because I love customization, or maybe even just having a selection, like you don't even have to pay, you just get it, which would be cool. But I want some kind of like customization, which I almost guarantee they'll have some form of it. I just don't know how they're gonna execute it. There's a lot they gotta think about when it comes to like
the customization and that kind of thing. All depends if Hytale is going to have the official server, at least, where all the mini games and stuff is going to take place.
Yeah, that's what I care about.
Yeah, that's all. It all depends if there's going to be ranks like MVP plus, VIP, that kind of thing. So that's I'm pretty, if the game turned out to be pay to play, I'd assume that wouldn't be much. I'd assume there wouldn't be many ranks. It wouldn't, as Hypixel relies to keep it going as a server on their cosmetic content and that kind of thing. I'd say, since Hytale's it's a game itself, I wouldn't say we'd see much of that, or as much of that we see in Hypixel. I think we'll
maybe like a $5 rank.
Yeah, at like 1 or 2 ranks, and maybe some cosmetic stuff you can buy in the lobby. But I think that all would be given to everyone, if it's an option,
We'll just have to see.
And you were talking about like effects. I really wonder how many particles Hytale's gonna have. Weird topic, but coming from Minecraft, there's so many combinations and so many things that are in Minecraft alone. I can't imagine what Hytale's gonna be.
What if they don't have particles? What if it's just nothing? What if it's just air?
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever seen particles, actually. It's interesting.
What do you mean? Particles are in literally every game in some way or another.
Yeah, I don't think they've really touched much on particles. I've just seen really animations from different. Do you know how Minecraft has the sword of ash flowing upward? I never actually paid attention if that was in Hytale. All I've seen, all I paid attention to is the torch fire movement, that kind of thing.
That counts as particles, I believe.
Yes, it does. I thought it was textures, because I remember you were talking about how hard armor was to texture with the texture pack. I'd assume it'd be even harder with animated, images.
True.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, honestly, although it's something really, really small, quite literally, particles are extremely small. That's a decent video topic, That's like, but like, I don't know. Hopefully I'm excited. At this time, we don't know if the blog post will be out Thursday or Friday or even later. We don't know. But like, hopefully by the time this goes out, we'll have information on the blog post. But I wonder what the next blog post is going to be too. Because that's something I'm really excited for. I mean, at this time, you guys will probably know, so talking about it probably will be pointless. But
Yeah.
I mean, I guess we could speculate.
We can talk about what blog posts have been promised to come out and what we can hope to see. Like,
ooh, that's a good idea.
So we've been promised weather, a world generation, and I think oceans as well. I think they said oceans.
Oceans are highly anticipated. I'm not sure if they were confirmed, though.
I remember. I thought they were confirmed somewhere. Maybe I'm wrong. I think what was it? Weather, oceans. No, weather, world generation. What were the others? I can't remember. There's 3 or 4. Oh wow.
I do not remember that because again, I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm pretty new to the Hytale. Yes, dude. I don't even know what I'm saying half the time. But I've only been part of the Hytale community for like 2 at most months. I got into it last month at like, I don't know, what day was it? On the 20-ish, you know, June 20th, about then. So yeah, it hasn't even been that long, and I don't know. My point was you probably a better person.
Me and my memory. I can only remember a couple. Like I said, weather, world generation, and oceans. If oceans a thing anyway, but
yeah.
Personally, what's some blog post topics you'd like to see in Hytale? Coming blog posts.
That just reminded me, probably Magic if something else was confirmed.
Oh.
Because Magic is extremely
it was combat. It was combat.
Combat, yeah, that makes
sense.
That would, that would probably include a lot. And honestly, dude, inevitably we're also gonna get some kind of beta blog post with beta information or like
definitely
name reservation. I'd love to see that, dude. For all we know, we could be playing the beta by the time this video goes out. I mean, that's way too high. So no, never mind. That's not gonna happen. But we could get some like name reservation information in this blog post, which would be so good. I mean, I guess we'll have to see.
We could get some, possibly. We could get some.
Possibly,
we could possibly get some release dates for the beta, and maybe the actual
release
game
dates,
and name res, like you said.
Yeah, release dates could always be an option, but
yeah, in the past they've mentioned like they never had a full dedicated blog post to it, but they've had a couple parts about the beta, and maybe we could get an FAQ coming up as well. Once we get more information, but I don't think the beta is going to, be out anytime soon, because we already have 3 or 4 promised blog posts that plan to release. So I'd assume after all of those eventually come out, then I'd assume beta has a higher chance. So, because I mean, as they have a year time span, basically half a year. And this year, at least, what's left of 2020 to work on, I don't think they'd waste the time and just give us a beta now, sadly.
That's true, but also there's another subject that I really wanted to touch on here is beta content. What will be inside of the beta is something that I really am curious about, because if I were to take a guess, like we were talking about it earlier, I really think it's going to involve things like, at most, like you said, some kind of little tutorial world maybe that gives us an introduction to like mechanics, and maybe like some kind of prefab where we have to like fight chorks or something. And then there could also be like, my guess is that I will be shocked if they don't have mini games, because mini games are a perfect way to test so many different things. You can like walk around in lobbies, you can test around animations, multiplayer, you can test mechanics like swords and like bows and like I feel I will be 100 like super shocked if we get the actual adventure mode inside of the beta, and I'll be even more shocked if we don't see mini games, because that seems like a good route to go down, because mini games are fun, they give good vibes, a lot of people would be excited, it would hype up adventure mode even more, it would hype up the game in general. I don't expect to see any customizable content yet, like I don't know, modding and stuff. I don't see that coming until 2021. That's okay, because as long as we get to play it, I'll be super stoked.
Yeah, I'd definitely expect to see some mini games. I wouldn't say they release all of them. I'd say they'd only have like 1 or 2 out. Like, let's say a survival game, Hunger Games, or Sky Wars or Bed Wars. Bed Wars and Sky Wars. I'd say those are the 2 that would be out for beta.
Or maybe like murder mystery as well, or something.
Maybe.
Or because like on the website we can see all like a few mini games, including like you said, Sky Wars, Bed Wars. I believe we see build battle. I think we see duels as well with the sword.
Yeah.
We see 2 question marks, so I don't know. What else? I mean, they said fan favorites, I believe, somewhere. So I that's why I'm thinking murder mystery.
They could always add things down the line.
For sure.
For the actual game. But you mentioned earlier, I'd definitely say many games are in the beta, because I heard someone say that 90% of the bugs come from the actual multiplayer part of Hytale. And that's, I'd say, what needs tested the most. As he made a good point, I think it was Miles from our Discord, my last whatever, because
shout out to you, Miles, I love you.
Yeah. Anyway, as adventure is a lot easier to test on. Single, just it's a lot easier to test on because it's not very multiplayer. It is multiplayer, but it's not. You know what I mean. I can't explain it.
Yeah, I can probably explain it better because
you explain it better.
It doesn't seem so. Basically, multiplayer has everything that they need to test because one, they only probably my guess is that at most they've only had 100 people even see the game, like ever. So, point being, they won't have a lot of people to test, and that's where most of the bugs are gonna rise because they can kill any bug they see that, like, anything major at least in the adventure mode, which will be super easy to just get rid of, make sure it's polished for launch, and then smaller things the community can let them know and boom, they're gone. And then there's the minigames though that they just can't test on a huge scale yet because like things could go fine in one match, but they overload their servers and boom, everything goes to hell. Like, there's a lot more things that could go wrong, and there's also, like, obviously if they're gonna have like some kind of reward system, they gotta test that out, they gotta get people making sure those work, and there's a lot to like think about. There's more to think about bug wise in something like the minigames than there are in the actual game. But then again, that's also speculation because, as we know, the adventure mode is huge, dude, and it's gonna have so much to offer, and like it's gonna be filled with so many different things. There could be a lot of bugs that they haven't caught, and we'll just have to see. I mean, they're making sure that this is super polished, and they want it to be a good game with success and like no complaints, and they just want everybody to be happy, which is something I'm really excited about because these devs are amazing and wouldn't rather have anybody else working on the game. But excuse me, it's just having something in like adventure just isn't as much as a priority.
Yeah,
I don't know why I said priority, but yeah.
I'd still say we get, like you said, a tutorial part of adventure, because obviously I think a lot of people from the Hytale fan base they want, like, I wouldn't say most, but a fair good amount of, the people waiting for the game is adventure mode. They want adventure mode. So I definitely think Hytale won't. I think they will include something like a tutorial world, maybe raiding a chort camp for like 20 minutes. And having, a couple prefabs in there that you explore.
I doubt it would be 20 minutes. A chort camp probably won't. I mean, I don't know. We literally have no idea.
Yeah, as long as you want. Like, maybe an objective. You can explore the area they set, but it's mainly an objective once that small quest, like kill the chork, is complete. It's done, and you can just go on to play mini games. It's that simple.
Actually, I was thinking about it. And honestly, if they give us like one zone to explore, that might not be as far-fetched as I was thinking when we talked about it last. Because there's this Marvel's Avengers. Do you know that game that's coming out soon and they have like a beta starting or something?
I've heard of it, but I never looked into it.
Oh, well, I saw something about it. I saw something about it on Twitter, and yeah, there were like, what's it called? Sorry, my brain is just not working. But their beta is very selective, right? And like they only have a few things like specified for the beta. They literally have beta content, and it seemed to get some pretty good feedback. So if Hytale looks at that obviously, depending on how far beta is, like we could honestly see like maybe just a zone with like you said, like a tour camp, but something huge that we can explore, like because like the beta includes like missions and things you can do online, and it just comparing it to that, something that seemed to have good feedback when I looked at it. Yeah, if they look at that and they're like, wow, that looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't know, but we'll have to see.
I'd say personally that would probably spoil a good amount of the game before it comes out. Now, this all depends if where the beta takes place, like before release, like how long. Like I'd say beta would last a couple weeks at most, a month at most. It all depends if the beta. There's like a couple ways the beta could go. One, where they release everything at once. They basically release the entire game and have the community test the entire game, and have it as basically pre-release sort of phase, and they'll release the actual game like a couple weeks later, or they'd show off a good bit amount of the game. And then for multiplayer mostly, they'd fix the issues, and they'd take probably like a month and a half on that, and then they release the game. I don't necessarily think they release too much, because you don't want to spoil the game. They've already kept it super secretive from the blog post, and I don't think they're just gonna basically put all that to waste and just release an entire zone for the beta. But it is a possibility.
They definitely don't want to spoil too much, like you said. Like, if they spoil a lot, then that would, I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking it would kill hype, but maybe it wouldn't. It depends on what they show, how selective they are, and how much is revealed when the full game comes out.
Yeah. Well, if they release a good chunk of the game, they definitely will have less players playing it, as the people who really want to play it, are going to get hype for it. I don't think it would kill hype. I think it would kill hype if most of the people excited for the game get to play it, and for beta, early access, whatever.
Well, that would just create people enjoying a game and being excited for new updates, just like how it works. So, hyping up the game, it depends. Do they want a huge beta crowd with a steady flow going into the game, or do they want hype going into the game? It's up to them. And like they said, they were still finishing like their business model, so we'll have to see. Like Valorant, dude, their beta, even though it was kind of cringe how they did it, friggin' watching Twitch streamers, it was extremely successful, with lots of hype, and they had a huge crowd at the beginning of the game that they did manage to push away a lot, because Valorant's basically not relevant anymore, and it was only like a month. It's kind of sad, but point being, Hytale, if they can manage to keep their built up fan base, then they should be good. They should be set. They'll be fine, and I really feel like they'll do good. Just as long as they don't release. I mean, I don't know. There's so many different ways they could do it. Like Valorant, they just had it hyped up on Twitch, which was a super smart move, and then they literally released the full game, and then it was just more when beta came out, and they had tons of players at the very beginning, and then of course it died because Valorant's trash. You can find it in the comments if you want, but
it might not be the actual game's fault. Like, it might be because they released too much for the game. They already released ranked with the beta. Like, why? I wouldn't do that. I'd keep it maybe casual, and then when the game releases, I'd release I think Spike Rush and all that, which they did a good job on the release different game modes, but it was kind of dumb how ranked was included in the beta phase. And how, I wouldn't say so many people left it, but a good chunk left Valorant after playing it because it's either boring, and you know, it is a free game, so props on them. It's a free game that's doing really well, just not as, you know, not as well as it did when it, you know, when it was in beta. But it really for Hytale, it really depends on if Hytale is going to be pay to play or free to play. Because Valorant is a huge thing. Yeah, Valorant is a free to play game, and Hytale, if Hytale was a free to play game, what do you call it?
Their beta could look like the full game if it was free to play.
That's what I meant. Yeah, that's what I was trying to say. Hytale's beta would be basically the full game if it was free to play, because there wouldn't be much. If you're gonna get this, I don't know how to say it, but I just had the idea once again. My thought ran away from me. But
dang it, Senza, twice.
Dude.
Shame. Poor shame.
It is a shame.
But, yeah, I mean, I guess we could end it off here. I feel like it was a good time. Is there anything else you want to add? Because, you know, it would be great ending on shaming Senza, you know, for me. That's great for me.
Excuse me.
I'm just kidding, guys. I love Senza. Totally.
Oh, yeah. Totally. What do you mean, totally? Is it a yes or
no?
No,
I do. I love you.
We're partners in this. What are you trying to imply,
I love you.
man?
It's okay. Is it?
Okay.
No, that's fine. You know what? I feel like, I don't know. I'm very excited for this game. I know you're very excited for this game.
Yeah.
Hopefully the blog post is not a disappointment. It was meh last time, to be honest. Like, just being brutally honest, it was not that exciting. It was still interesting, but it was not that exciting.
It was more of a... I'd say with a blog post that would be paired with like something else. It was more, you know, what do you call it? For the actual modders of the game to experience world generation, which we do need once in a while, as we've gotten a good chunk of stuff about adventure mode and progress updates about that, you know. So they have to release something for people who really want to know about the world generation or how the prefab spawning is going to work, like we saw. Mm-hmm. So personally, I was not the biggest fan of it, but they have to do it sometime. But I would have paired it with something like Oceans. I would have paired it with like an Oceans or combat or weather or something like that. But
yeah, I was gonna say weather probably is realistic to see there.
That's true.
Like, one of my favorite blog posts that they've released contained, like, I know it's kind of weird, but it was the one, I forgot the name, but like they showed us how they made the sound effects. I found that really interesting for some reason. It was kind of cool seeing how they literally, for the eggs, they just squish something. That was pretty epic.
Yeah, those are the kind of we don't expect to see, but we got. We all expected.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun.
You know, it was I love exciting. That one. There were so many good comments about that. It was really cool.
Yeah, and like the dog holding the bone and then just growling, that was the best.
I wouldn't say cute. Unique, but it's very, very interesting.
I mean, it is unique, dude. You don't really see many games publicizing how they made their sound effects. That's something really cool.
Wasn't. Yeah, publicizing for sure. I love that Hytale actually expresses what they do and how they do it, as they're basically going to release a game with all the tools they had to make Hytale. So it's great how they're showing how they made it themselves as well within the blog posts.
Yeah, but blog posts are always really exciting, and I cannot wait. I really hope. I'm always going to hope for a beta blog post every single time. And I mean, to be honest, what we have at most, I'd say like 8 blog posts until we get beta news at most. I feel like that could be a little far-fetched, but that'll take us into next year, and I wouldn't be surprised if we got a beta sometimes this year. So it depends on when they actually want to release the game, because they did say they wanted to make it playable by everybody in 21, meaning that they could have it playable by a lot of people in 20, and then just releasing it very early on in 21. We have no idea when they're going to release it, but I'd be very excited to see a blog post containing any kind of beta or release date or any kind of smaller window than just the whole year. Because if I got that, I'd be able to just, you know, be more excited, have something I'm looking forward to, like a day specifically. I mean, they'll give that to us eventually. I mean, they're not just gonna drop it out of the blue, be like, boom, we released Hytale, guys. but
Yeah.
but
It's gonna be we're most likely gonna get another trailer for the actual full release of the game, with the improved content of the first one. They're not gonna be able to top the 56 million views, but they don't need to. It's gonna be
really
centered
don't.
around for the community who knows the game, and it'd be great if it gets tons of views. But
yeah, we have no idea. It could do better. Like, we don't know. I mean, that would be extremely unlikely considering it's literally one of the top 10 trailers on YouTube ever. But yeah, it's gonna do good. It's gonna do good. But I'm just really excited. But yeah, guys, I think sorry about that. I think we're gonna end it up here. We just had to finish that, an epic conversation. But yeah, I'd say it was a pretty good episode too. Hope you guys did enjoy. Yeah. I expect another one every Friday. That's when we plan on doing it. Also, we stream live every Saturday, 8 p.m. Central Time. Be there. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be very fun. And we'd love to hear any questions or things that you'd like us to, respond to live. Because, we cannot wait to see what you guys have to say. Because first time actually went pretty well. We got some interesting questions. We had a good time. It was pretty good. But, yeah. Hope you guys did enjoy. I guess wanted to hear. And, yeah. See you.